Surah 16, the B, and some important notes to remember. There is a prostration set of verses. There's 15 of these sets, by the way. 48 through 50, and then one prostrates. God, divine love not being for the character trait of pride. That's in verse 23. And the lesson of the bee, which is the naming factor of this chapter, is to be found in 68, 69. And where's the cow? Oh, one of the lessons of intoxicants, as intoxicant is separate from the goodly provision. So that verse alone should tell you that intoxicants, explicitly those derived from plants would not be allowed in Islam. There's a cow lesson here too. Where's that cow lesson? Well, I'll get to that when I get to that. And y'all, in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, the doom of God cometh to pass, then hasten it not. Glory be to him. High let him be exalted above the Yids, whom they join with him. By his own behest will he cause the angels to descend with the Spirit on whom he pleaseth among his servants, bidding them warn that there is no God but me. Therefore fear me. He hath created the heavens and the earth to set forth his truth. Let him be exalted above the Geds, whom they join with him. Man hath he created from a moisture, yet lo, man is an open cavalier. And the cattle for whom he hath created them, and in them ye have warm garments and gainful uses, and of them ye eat, and they beseem you well. When ye fetch them home, and when ye drive them forth to pasture, and they carry your burdens to lands which ye could not else reach but with travail of soul. Truly your Lord is full of goodness and mercy, and horses and mules and asses, donkeys, that ye may ride them. And for your ornament and things which ye have no knowledge hath he created. Of God it is to point out the way. Some turn aside from it, but had he pleased, he had guided you all aright. It is he who sendeth down rain out of heaven. From it is your drink, and from it are the plants by which ye pasture. By it he causeth the corn and the olives, the kernel, and the olives and the palm trees and the grapes to spring forth for you, and all kinds of fruit. Verily in this are signs for those who ponder. And he hath subjected to you the night and the day, the sun and the moon and the stars too are subjected to you by his behest. Verily in this are signs for those who understand. And all of the varied hues that he hath created for you over the earth, Verily in this are signs for those who remember, and he it is who hath subjected the sea to you, that ye may eat of its fresh fish, and take forth from it ornaments to wear. Thou seest the ships ploughing its billows, and that ye may go in quest of his bounties, and that ye may give thanks. Ye may go in quest of his bounties, and that ye may give thanks. And he hath thrown firm mountains on the earth, lest it move with you, and rivers and paths for your guidance, and waymarks. By the stars too are men guided. Shall he then who hath created be as he who hath not created? Will ye not consider? And if ye would reckon up the favors of God, ye could not count them. God is right, gracious, merciful, and God knoweth what ye conceal, and what ye bring to light, while the gods whom they call on besides God create nothing, but are themselves created. Dead are they, lifeless, and they know not. So everything eternal is a God, and there's only one God. Dead are they, lifeless, and they know not when they shall be raised. Your God is the one God, and they who believe not in a future life have hearts given to denial, and are men of pride. Beyond a doubt God knoweth what they conceal and what they manifest. He truly loveth not the man of pride. Moo is a character trait. For when it is said to them, what is this your God hath sent down? They say, fables of the ancients, that on the day of resurrection they may bear their own entire burden, and the burden of those whom they in their ignorance misled. Shall it not be a grievous burden for them? They who were before them did plot of old, but God attacked their building at its foundation. The roof fell on them from above, and whence they looked not for it, punishment overtook them. On the day of resurrection too, he will shame them. He will say, where are the gods who ye associated with me, the subject of your disputes? They to whom the knowledge hath been given will say, verily this day shall shame and evil fall upon the infidels, the sinners against, covering the truth. This is misbelievers. The sinners against their own souls, whom the angels shall cause to die, will proffer the submission, no evil have we done, nay, God knoweth what ye have wrought.
Enter ye therefore into the gates of hell, to remain therein forever, the horrid abiding place of the haughty ones.
But to those who have feared God it shall be said, what is this that your Lord hath awarded? They shall say, that which is best. To those who do good a good reward in this present world, but better the mansion of the next, and right pleasant the abode of the God-fearing. Gardens of Eden, into which they shall enter, rivers shall flow beneath their shades. All they wish for shall they find therein. Thus God rewardeth those who fear him. To whom as righteous persons the angels shall say, when they receive their souls, Peace be upon you, enter paradise as the meat of your labors. What can the infidels expect but that the angels of death come upon them, or that the sentence of thy Lord take effect? Thus did they who flourished before them. God was not unjust to them, but to their own selves they unjust, and the ill which they had done recoiled upon them, and that which they have scoffed had encompassed them round about. They who have joined other gods with God say, had he pleased, neither we nor our fathers had worshipped aught but him, nor should we apart from him have forbidden aught. Thus acted they who were before them. Yet is the duty of the apostles other than public preaching. And to every people have we sent an apostle, saying, worship God and turn away from Tagut. It's not a Arabian idol. It's rebellion or something like that. Some of them there were whom God guideth, and there were others decreed to error. But go through the land and see what hath been the end of those who treated my apostles as liars. If thou art anxious for their guidance, that God will not guide him whom he would lead astray, neither shall they have any helpers. And they swear by God with their most sacred oath, that God will never raise him who was once dead. Nay, but on him is a promise binding, though most men know it not, that he may clear up to them the subjects of their disputes, and that the infidels the misbelievers, may know that they are liars. Our word to a thing when we will it is but to say, be, and it is. And as to those who, when oppressed, have fled their country for the sake of God, we will surely provide them a goodly abode in this world, but greater the reward of the next life, did they but know it. They who bear ills with patience and put their trust in the Lord, none have we sent before thee, but men inspired. Ask thee of those who have books of monition, if ye know it not, with proofs and scriptures, and to thee we have sent down this book of monition, that thou mayest make clear to men what hath been sent down to them, that they may ponder it. What are they then who have plotted mischief, sure that God will not cause the earth to cleave under them? Or that a chastisement will not come upon them whence they look not for it? Or that he will not seize upon them their comings and goings, while they shall not be able to resist him? Or that he will not seize them with some slowly wasting scourge? But verily your Lord is good, gracious. Have they not seen how everything which God hath created turneth its shadow right and left, prostrating itself before God in all abasement? That's verse 48 in this, but the Quran it's 48, but it's 50 in his translation. So sometimes his verse totals are sound, but his verse numbers are sometimes different than the ayat numbers for some odd reason. Have not they seen how everything which God hath created turneth its shadow right and left, prostrating itself before God in all abasement, and all in the heavens and all on the earth, each thing that moveth and the very angels prostrate themselves in adoration before God and are free from pride. They fear their Lord above them, and they do that when they are bidden and prostrate, facing Mecca. 7 points. For God hath said, take not to yourselves two gods, for he is one God. Me therefore, yea, me revere. All in the heavens and the earth is his due unceasing service. Will ye then fear any one other than God? And all your blessings are surely from God. Then when trouble befalleth you, to him ye turn for help. Then when he relieveth you of the trouble, lo, some of you join associates with your Lord, to prove how thankless are they for our gifts. Enjoin yourselves then, but in the end ye shall know, and for which they know nothing, they set apart a share of our bounties. By God, ye shall be called to account for your devices, and they ascribe daughters unto God. Glory be to him. But they desire them not for themselves, for when the birth of a daughter is announced to any one of them, dark shadows settle on his face, and he is sad. He hideth him from the people because of the ill tidings. Shall he keep it with disgrace, or bury it in the dust? Are not their judgments wrong? To whatever is evil may they be likened, to believe not in a future life. But God is to be likened to whatever is loftiest, for he is the mighty, the wise. Should God punish men for their perverse doings, he would not leave on earth a moving thing, but to an appointed term doth he respite them, and when their term is come, they shall not delay or advance it an hour. Yet what they loathe themselves do they assign to God, and their tongues utter the lie, that there shall be a goodly lot. But beyond a doubt is it, that the
Fire awaiteth them, and they shall be the first sent into it. By God, we have sent apostles to nations before thee, but the Satans prepared their work for them. And this day is he, their liege, and a woeful punishment doth await them. And we have
sent down the book to thee only, that thou mightest clear up to them the subject of And we have sent down the book to thee only, that thou mightest clear up to them the subject of their wranglings, and as a guidance and a mercy to those who believe. And God sendeth down water from heaven, and by it giveth life to the earth, after it hath been dead. Verily, and this is a sign to those who hearken. Yet ye have also a teaching from the cattle. Give you drink of the pure milk, between dregs and blood, which is in their bellies, the pleasant beverage of them that quaff it. So between the few things that they produce is the milk, which is in their bellies, the pleasant beverage of them that quaff it. Oh, verse 66. Okay. And among fruits ye have the palm and the vine, from which ye get wine and healthful nutriment. In this verily are signs for those who reflect, and thy Lord hath taught the bee, saying, provide thee houses in the mountains, and in the trees, and in the hives which men do build. Does it say that the men build them hives? In what they erect. Okay, whatever. So think of it. We're kind of like bees, because we go to the masjid, we hum, Ameen. Everybody says that. Um, and then we go out our various places, and we're supposed to produce pure healing, physical, spiritual. Supposed to do good for the world and ourselves. Feed moreover on every kind of fruit, and walk the beaten path of thy Lord. From its belly cometh a fluid of varying hues, which yieldeth medicine to man. Verily, and this is a sign for those who consider. So there's healing for every type of honey, in terms of allergies at the very least. Well, every type of plant allergy, that is. The bees that eat the plant make the honey. From its belly cometh forth a fluid of varying hues, which yieldeth medicine to men. Verily, and this is a sign for those who consider. And God hath created you, by and by will he take you to himself, and some among you will he carry on to abject old age, when all that once was known is known no longer. God is knowing, powerful, and God hath abounded to some of you more than others in the supplies of life, yet they to whom he hath abounded impart not thereof to the slaves whom their right hands possess, so that they may share alike. What will they deny? That these boons are from God. God too hath given you wives of your own race, and from your wives hath he given you sons and grandsons, and with good things hath he supplied you. What will they then believe in vain idols for God's boons? They are ungrateful. And that translation sounds off, because interracial marriage is perfectly fine. Azwaj, yeah, of your own kind. Like humans, compatible character, that sort of thing. God too hath given you wives of your own kind, and from your wives hath he given you sons and grandsons, and with good things hath he supplied you. What will they then believe in vain idols for God's boons? They are ungrateful. And there's a good chance that I can't say that James Rodwell was racist, but he definitely was surrounded by racists wherever he was in America or whatever. I don't remember at the moment. And they worship besides God those who neither out of the heavens or earth can provide them a particle of food, and have no power in themselves, make no comparisons therefore with God. Verily God hath knowledge, but ye have not. So don't compare God to a father or a mother or a child. This is not right. God maketh comparison between a slave, the property of his master, Lord, lowercase Lord. So, who hath no power over anything, and a free man, whom we have ourselves supplied with goodly supplies, and who giveth alms therefrom, both in secret and openly. Shall they be held equal? No. Praise be to God, but most men know it not. God setteth forth also a comparison between two men, one of whom is dumb from his birth, and hath no power over anything, and is a burden to his Lord. Send him where he will, he cometh not back with success. Shall he and the man who enjoineth what is right and keepeth in the straight path be held equal? God's are the secrets of the heavens and of the earth, and the business of the last hour will be but as the twinkling of an eye, or even less. Yes, for all things is God potent. God hath brought you out of your mother's wombs, devoid of all knowledge, but hath given you hearing, and sight, and heart, that haply ye might render thanks. Have they never looked at the birds subjected to him? No birds today. In heaven's vault none holdeth them in hand but God. In this are signs for those who believe. And God hath given you tents to dwell in, and he hath given you the skins of beasts for tents, that ye may find them light when ye shift your quarters, or when ye halt. And from their wool and soft fur and hair hath he supplied you with furniture and goods for temporary use. Oh yeah, society breaks down. I am definitely hunting and making a couch out of the animals that I kill for food, for temporary use. And from the things which he hath created hath God provided shade for you, and hath given you the mountains for places of shelter, and hath given you garments to defend you from the heat, and garments to defend you in your wars. Thus doth he fill up the measure of his goodness towards you, that you may resign yourselves to him. But if they turn their backs, still thy office is only plain preaching. They own the goodness of God, and then they disown it, and most of them are infidels, misbelievers. Yeah, unfaithful too, yeah. But one day will we raise up a witness out of every nation. Then shall the infidels have no permission, misbelievers have no permission, and they shall find no favor. And when they who have acted thus wrongly shall behold their torment, it shall not be made light to them, nor will God deign to look upon them. And when they who had joined associates with God shall see their associate gods, well, their partners that they claim were gods, associates, they shall say, O our God, these are our associate gods whom we called on besides thee. But they shall retort on them, Verily ye are little liars. And on that day shall they proffer submission to God, and that of their own invention shall vanquish from them. As for those who were misbelievers and turned others aside from the way of God, to them we did add punishment on punishment for their corrupt doings. And one day will we summon them up, and every people a witness against them from among themselves, and we will bring thee up as a witness against these Meccans. Oh, that's not in there. Against these. So everybody who's heard of Islam. For to thee have we sent down the book, which cleareth up everything, a guidance and a mercy, and glad tidings to those who resign themselves to God. Al-Muslimin, Al-Muslimun, whatever's the plural there. God, verily God enjoineth justice, and the doing of good, and gifts to kindred, and he forbiddeth wickedness, and wrong, and oppression, and warneth you that haply ye may be mindful. Be faithful to the covenant of God, when ye have covenanted, and break not your oaths after ye have pledged them. For now have ye made God to stand surely for you. Verily God hath knowledge of what ye do. And because you are more numerous people than some other people, be not like her who unravelleth the thread which she hath strongly spun, by taking your oaths and mutual perfidy. God is making trial of you in this, and in the day of resurrection he will assuredly clear up to you that concerning which ye are now at variance. Had God pleased, he could have made you one people, but he causeth whom he will to error, and whom he will he guideth. And ye shall assuredly be called to account for your doings. Therefore take not oaths with mutual fraud, lest your foot slip after he had it firmly fixed. And ye taste of evil, because ye have turned others aside away from the way of God. And great be your punishment. Fisabilillah. I'm not sure at the second if that's what it says, but when you hear the phrase jihad fisabilillah, it's not just struggling. It's struggling in God's way, and God's name is not enough. It has to be God's way. And great be your punishment, and barter not the covenant of God for a mean price, for with God is that which is better for you, if ye do but understand. And all that is with you passeth away, but that which is with God abideth. With a reward meet for their best deeds will we surely recompense those who have patiently endured. Whoso doeth that which is right, whether male or female, if a believer, him will we surely quicken to a happy life, and recompense them with a reward meet for their best deeds. When thou readest Al-Quran, have recourse to God for help against
Satan,
the stoned, for no power hath he over those who believe and put their trust in their Lord, but only hath he power over those who turn away from God and join other deities with him. And when we change one verse for another, and God knoweth best what he revealeth, they say, Thou art only a fabricator. Nay, but most of them have no knowledge. Say, the Holy Spirit have brought it down with truth from thy Lord, and he may establish those who have believed, and as guidance and glad tidings to al-Muslimin. Uh, we also know that they say, Surely a certain person teacheth him, but the tongue of him at whom they hint is foreign, while this is in the plain Arabic. As for those who believe not in the signs of God, God will not guide them, and a sore torment doth await them. By the way, I tried to dramatize that, but I failed. Surely they invent a lie who believe not in the signs of God, and they are the liars. Whoso after he hath believed in God denieth him, if he were forced into it, and if his heart remaineth steadfast to the faith, shall be guiltless. But whoso openeth his breast to infidelity, on such shall be wrath from God, and a severe punishment awaiteth them. Now, I'm just talking about the English, but wrath is kind of like a lack of love. It's not just anger by itself. It's like there's not enough love, man. And this because they loved this present life beyond the next, and because God guideth not the misbelievers. The unbelievers. So if you're choosing not to believe and you're not even trying, then that form applies to you. These are they whose hearts and ears and eyes God hath sealed up. These are the careless ones. In the next world shall they perish beyond a doubt. And those who after their trials fled their country, they fought and endured with patience. Verily thy Lord will in then be forgiving, gracious. On a certain day shall every soul come to plead for itself, and every soul shall be repaid according to its deeds, and they shall not be wronged. God proposeth the instance of a city secure and at ease, to which its supplies come in plenty from every side, but she was thankless for the boons of God. God therefore made her taste the woe of famine and fear for what they had done. Moreover, an apostle of their own people came to them, and they treated him as an impostor. So chastisement overtook them, because they were
evil doers.
of what God hath supplied you. Eat of the lawful and the good, and be grateful for the favors of God, if ye are his worshippers. That's a super hard one nowadays. Being strict about what's halal. People are opposed to that. People are really opposed to, yeah, I'm quitting all these chemicals in the bread and adding extra sugar to everything, and the injections into the animals. Well, that's kind of animal cruelty in this Quran to begin with, and all sorts of things. But it's the right thing to do. Science even tells us that these are the right things to do, that they're good for us. Eat of the lawful and the good, and be grateful for the favors of God, if ye are his worshippers. Forbidden to you is that only which dieth of itself, and the blood, and the swine's flesh, very dirty, very foul, and that which hath been slain in the name of any other than God. So no Tyson chicken. But if any be forced, and neither lust for it, or wilful transgress, then verily God is forgiving, gracious. And swine's flesh, very dirty, very foul. It refers to the whole pig, by the way. No playing games like certain types of the Jews that say, yes, I can take the animals that you can't eat. I'll make things out of them. I'll use the pig fat to grease my deck or something like that. No. But people would do that, and that's not what we're supposed to do. But the khinzir, the meat-eating animals, yes, if you feed a chicken, other chicken, if you take the dead animals and grind them up and feed them to the other animals, those animals you can't eat. The fangs, humans don't have fangs. The talons, well, you don't eat humans either.